Hello there, fellow modelers. Steve here. Now this is, I haven't made a video for, oh God, for months. I don't know when the last one was. I think it might have been January or February. Something ridiculous like that. But I thought, I've never made one. I'll have to get one made now. Mainly just for, not particularly what kits that I've made at the moment, but from me views on Telford, which was last weekend, and kits that I bought, and just general waffle on really. So I'll start with Telford. Now it was a better, well, a more full show than last year, because they were using the 3 holes this time rather than just the 2, and a lot of the overseas visitors were back, which was good, and they'd moved the competition into the back of hole 3, which I think years ago it used to be there anyway before it moved. I think it's the something sweet, which is upstairs, and there was some fantastic models on the table, as there always is. So I'll get on to me kits, what I bought straight away. Right, now I bought 11 kits. I don't know how much I spent, but I bought 11, and this was the first one that I bought because I've been after something like this for quite a while, and it's, well, it's a flatbed US 4x4 truck. It's not, well, it looks like an old army truck by the design of it. Cab, and it's an old type tyres, and it's not like one of the newer type, and then it doesn't have the beer barrels on, at least I don't think it does. Oh, it might do anyway, but I bought another kit for something different for when I eventually make it. Mini art, and it looks good. I don't want to. Oh, there's something in there that I want to show. Right, yes, it does have the beer barrels in, but I didn't know that at the time, because I did buy this, which is something, and it's vegetables with wooden crates, so I'm going to put that on the back instead. That's the cargo. What's it got? Peppers, carrots, they look like pumpkins, them. Tomatoes, potatoes, whatever. So that'll be good, that. And that, what's that? That's a mini art kit again, so it blends well with that. Now something I've seen, because they didn't have a kit swap, because the guy's not running it anymore, but they did have a make a model a new home, or give a new home to a model. And I had a look, and there was a lot of things that I wasn't really interested in. But on the second day I seen this, which is an SH2 Sea Sprite. Now I'm making a kit that the same kit, and I tried to put the decals on because I was trying to get it finished for Telford, and they just disintegrated, the whole lot. So I seen this and I thought I'll have a gun at trying to moisten the decals off and put them on mine. Whether it'll work or not, I don't know, because I did go on a look for Sea Sprite decals, and I did go on a stand, I forget what it was, the website's on a leaflet downstairs, and it did have modern aircraft part 1, 2, 3, such and such. Part 2 had markings for a Polish Sea Sprite, and I think it was part 5 had markings for a Royal Australian Navy and a Royal New Zealand Air Force one, but not a US Navy one. And I asked the guy, and he says, oh well, we're in the process of doing a decal sheet that's got Sea Sprite decals, Navy, US Navy, whatever. I think Kuwait operate them as well. So he gives the email address, so I've got to do that. But I might have a go of that to see if it'll work. If it doesn't, it doesn't. But anyway, so that's them two kits there. And this one, I'd wanted either a destroyer or a cruiser to go with me Japanese aircraft carrier that I did for Robert Artnoff's 100-year group build, and it's the, I can't pronounce it, it's the Choker, a Japanese heavy cruiser which will go with the Japanese aircraft carrier, and it's the same what is it, Waterline series, Ashimura 1/700 scale. But you put that to the Japanese aircraft carrier, it looks a lot bigger. So that'll be interesting. And this one, I seen this just by chance. I'd seen one at, I think it was Telford last year, and it was too expensive. And it's that, a Rodin Boeing 307 Stratoliner. What do you get? It's Trans World Airlines, which is basically just a flying fortress with an airliner fuselage. It's the same wings and undercarriage, and they're always good Rodin kits. Sometimes the decals can be a bit crap. The ones on these look okay. What next? This. Now I've seen this in waiting for the queue for the setup on Friday. I'll have to get one of them. It's due. I think a lot of people have bought it because it was literally sold out by Sunday morning, due to the television series SAS Rogue Heroes, and it's the British Long Range Desert Group Commando car. Now I built the SAS Jeep last year, so I'm going to build this and put them together, because I think it was the third episode that did meet up with the Long Range Desert Group with the Canadian Chevrolet truck, and you get you get 7 figures with it, so that should be a good diorama, that. But I seen it and I thought I'll have to get that, and I looked and there was dwindly going down, and some other people have put on the kits that they bought and they've been influenced by that television series, and it's a Tamiya kit and they're always good, even though they're a bit old. Now what next? This. Now one of the lads in our group builds Russian helicopters, and he had one on our stand that was a Mil 12, I think, but I seen that, a Mil Mi-8. Who makes it? Oh, I'm not gonna, I think it might be a Polish, but it's a pretty basic kit. I've never built a Russian helicopter before, and the markings you get are, it's Slovak Air or Czechoslovakian Air Force. Now, I can't go to a model show without buying a Hornet. Now I've got stacks of Hornets, but I bought this really for the decals, and it's a Swedish, Swiss Air Force FA-18 Hornet with the tiger meat markings on the tail. Now that stood straight out, so I'll have to buy that. Very colourful, which will be one to add to my collection of Hornets, because I haven't built a Swiss Air Force one yet. Now what else? This caught me eye. I like the obscure kits. It's a Vought F6U1 Pirate. It didn't enter service with the US Navy. This is just a What If Group box art. It was tested, but it was found to be underpowered. Middle to late 1950s. But it was unusual, and it's A to Z models. I've never heard of them either. Right, what else? This caught me eye as well. I'm not going to pronounce it. It's a Cant Z 107 Bida Riva, an Italian bomber stroke torpedo bomber. Now I actually seen one of these on one of the stands made up with very like model type camouflage, which is not what this is. This looks quite plain for Italian camouflage. And who makes this? Supermodel. Never heard of them. Right, what else? I bought this and I found it's just a conversion set for the Grumman S2A into the C1A Trader, and it just has the fuselage and covers for the engine nacelles, which it says the basic kit to use for conversion is the Hasegawa one, which I have got. But I seen this and I thought, that might work. Comet Models, which is a Grumman S2 air tracker. Now that, I was showing it to one of the lads and he says, I think this is just way out of league. It's very chunky. It looks more, that looks more like 1/48th scale than 1/72nd. It's very big, and it has that 1950s, early 60s, where the markings, I don't know if you can see them close up, they're actually imprinted on the fuselage, which is a bit odd. But it's a very chunky model, this. It definitely looks like 1/48th scale. Something obscure. Comet Models. I've never heard of them. Two FX kits that I bought. The Westland Sea King, which I bought after I'd bought some decals, which I'll show you later. It's an RAF search and rescue, but it'll go with the decals that I've got. And this, which is an NA-7A or B Corsair 2 US Navy bomber. Right, what's paints that I got? I didn't buy much paints because I bought a lot at I can't remember whether it was Perth or Edinburgh earlier this year. Acrylic paint, gloss 15, which is blue, and satin white, which is 130. What else? Some micro set, which always comes in handy, and a flat black Tamiya paint and some acrylic paint thinner for the airbrush. And this I've got, it's Terrain's Desert Sand. It's from AK, and I don't know what that'll look like because I've done a few desert dioramas, and sometimes the sand always looks a bit dark, not like desert sand colour. So I'm going to try this out and see what it's like. I'm not going to open it because it's sealed. And what else? Right, I've got some decals here. I bought them as well, which was tufts of grass for deserts. And this caught my eye. It's like a stick-on patch, but it's Velcro. So you sew the back on to a t-shirt and you put it on and it sticks. It's Velcro type. And it's like a limited edition. What is it? Number 147 of 200. And it's, oh, I can't remember what the markings are with Fetish the cat with a bomb. But it's a colourful US Navy squadron, something obscure. Right, decals. Now I bought these from Nigel Wells, Craft and Well. Hi there Nigel, hope you're okay. Japanese Naval Air Force markings for spray on. Now I'll have to start experimenting with these. I've bought a few of them, but I've never used them. He built a Zero for the, I think it's the Watson Hall Pacific Theatre Group build, and he used them. They should be good. Decals. Can't go anywhere with Hornets. Some Arctic Tigers, but it's got a Spanish Air Force. I don't know if you can see it there. Spanish Air Force EF-18 they call it. With a tiger motif on. And this was what I bought the Sea King for. Royal Australian Navy the Great White Sharks Anniversary Scheme, which looks very colourful. And I bought that and I figured, well, I haven't got a Sea King. And then I seen that on a stand. I was like, I'll get that, that'll fit that. And this one, which is a decals for a B-24J Liberator, which I've got, but I like the dragon woman on the top, because you used to get that in an Airfix kit, but the Airfix kit I've got is the one that was reissued with another Liberator squadron in England and a one that was based in the Far East, operated by the RAF. These two, Buffalo Airways from Ice Pilots. Now I've got a C-46 and I just seen that and I thought that will go, that definitely. And I'd got an Electra a couple of years ago, and I'd used the decals for something else, or it didn't have any in. So I've got some Ansett Airlines decals for a Lockheed Electra. More Hornets, the Werewolves of Beaufort. It's in South Carolina, I think. What are they? VMFA 122. More Hornets. These are Freedom ones. The Bulls, Gunslingers and River Rattlers. I love Hornets. Now this one I seen and I thought, oh, for a 1/24th scale Mustang, and it's that one, the Dean Howe one. Now I've got a P51D, but I'm sure that this, what was the guy called? James Howard. He flew the D model as well, and I want to do it in the olive green camouflage. I don't particularly go for the silver one. And one more kit that I got that one of our lads in the model group was very impressed with, and I got it, I seen it, and I says, I'm going to have to get that. And as I picked it up, there was a guy next to it who says, oh, I wanted that as well. First come, first served. And it's a 1/48th scale Vultee Vengeance, and according to one of the lads in our club, it's a limited edition, and it's very highly detailed, because really the only one you had of these was the frog one, and I built the frog one, and it's basic, but this looks good. 1/48th scale, so it'll be quite big. And it has a lot of detail on me, you can't see it there really. That should be a good build, that. So that's all my acquisitions from Telford. No, I haven't got anything else. So it was a really good show, and the competition, there was some fantastic things in there. There was one which I looked at it and I thought, that's got to get the best of the show, and it did, and it was the Dam Buster one. The Lancaster fly in there with the upkeep bomb bouncing from the water and a great big plume of water, and it was a canny way to hide the stick or the metal rod that kept the Lancaster up, and it was just brilliant. And a couple of the others, there was a beach scene like saw somewhere in America, 2 American cars and a beach hut with people sunbathing, and the sand was just, it just looked real. What else was there? Oh, one of the lads in our group, he got the best civilian car, and he got a right wooden plaque with it. It was that big. It was a Jaguar, I think he did, and it was, that's really good. Everything that he does is good anyway. So that was me haul from Telford. What have I got going at the moment so I can fit this in? So they're all either drying, or I can show you this. This is what I'm doing for the Pacific Theatre of War, which ends next month, and it's the USS Indianapolis, and you get a choice of 2 colour schemes. There's pre-1944 and the time when it delivered the atom bomb to Tinian, but the pre-1944 is Dazzle, so I'm going to do it like that. I think that would look better. And that's it. I can't think of anything else. No, that's it. That's all my acquisitions. So it was a good time in Telford. Met lots of good people. Met Lenny Brannand with his fantastic 1/24th scale Harrier, and Len, Chancellor North Wales, I can't pronounce his second name. It was good to see the Harriers that he had mounted on plaques, which I'm going to try and do, because he made a good job of it, and he actually got a second prize from the Harrier SIG, which congratulations for that. Nigel Wells at the Crafton Well with his wife Lisa and his daughter and his son. Who else? I can't remember. It just went fast. But anyway, it was a great weekend. I can't wait for the next year. So that's me done. What's the time now? I've waffled on enough now. So I'll try and make another video fairly recent, not wait 10 months to make one, because one of the lads in our group always likes Ingrid Pitt, and he keeps saying every time I see him at the meeting, when you make another video. So there you are, Norman, Ingrid Pitt. Right, so that's it. Happy modelling, everybody, and I'll see you guys on the next video. Bye.